Hey Dyer, your days on market are getting a little bit longer. We might have to see some of these prices start going down. Hey guys, welcome to our weekly market update. This week we are talking about Dyer, Indiana. Like I said, we're going to look at the days on market for our actives and pendings. But first, let's talk about what we sold in January. So these are sales for month of January, from January 1st to the end of the month. In Dyer for the month of January, we closed 12 houses, condos, mansions, whatever they are, only 12. The total volume was 4.2 million, which gives us an average sales price of $353,000. Average days on market for the sales were 37 days. There were no new constructions, so we didn't really have to worry about those days on market. 2 condos, 10 regular houses. I know only 12 doesn't seem like very much, but it is on par with what we've seen, last week in Munster. We've seen Cherville. We'll probably see it next month in Crown Point. A lot of people didn't do a lot in January, which is not exactly headline news. So comparing January 2023 to December 22, the month before, 22 total units of real estate for a total volume of $6.7 million. That gives us an average sales price of about $306,000. Average days on market, 29 days, less than, 8 days shorter than it was in January, so not that big of a deal. List to sales price, 96.2% in December compared to 96.9% in January. So again, no big difference there. That's kind of just market moving around. We did sell at an average of 306 versus that 353, which gives us prices going up in Dyer of about $47,000. That's a pretty big step, but month to month, I don't know how much it actually matters. I actually went back and pulled January 2022 to see, where we were with that. January 2022, we sold $296,000 was our average sales price. So that's considerably less than what it was in January 2023. I don't know that we really need to worry about anything there. 25 days on market, sold for about 97% of sales the list price. So the numbers are actually kind of the same, if not the prices both in December and January are reflecting, a good, strong market with prices still higher than they were a year ago. I will say active listings and pending listings. This is kind of what's the headline is in Dyer, and this counts for Cherville a little bit, Munster more so. Like I said, next week we'll see about Crown Point. The average days on market in Dyer is kind of higher than last week in Munster, higher than we've seen in a while. So for active listings, so this is anything that is currently for sale, 45 active listings. The average sales price is $366,000. Now I took out some $1 million homes. There's 5 or 6 in there in Dyer. Those never, they skew the numbers. They never sell quickly. So I pull those numbers out for our average price and for our average days on market because they always take longer. There's actually a couple of them in there that, the average with those is 278 days on market, with these 2 that are, older houses in terrible shape, but they have all this frontage on US 30, so they're trying to, sell it to an investor who wants to build commercial property or something. But without those, it's 118 for just the regular $1 million homes. But leaving all that aside, days on market for our active listings is 73 days. That's a big number. Again, that doesn't include new construction, which there's 10 new constructions, so 35 of those are existing homes. It doesn't include these $1 million homes. 73 days on market for these active listings versus, we talked about Munster last week, and I was a little surprised to see the 49 days that Munster's showing. Dyer's, 73 days. That's a big, another, month plus from Munster to Dyer for these houses sitting on the market, which kind of, once you get to the 70s, that kind of is considered sitting on the market. Pending listings, 27 pending listings. Of that, 2 are new construction, so those may pen for a while. Average price on those is $331,000. Average days on market, 35 days, which is kind of still within the norm of a regular, nice, healthy, even market. 35 days, month on the market, sell it, woohoo, good stuff. The average price for the actives is $366,000. Not that different from the average price of sold listings in January of $353,000, but those are on the market for 37 days versus 73 days. That means generally that the buyers have, been looking in Dyer. They've found the ones that work for them, that are priced well, and, immediately go to try to close on those. The ones that are sitting for this 40 days, 50 days, 70 days are the ones that have, for some reason, not hit the nail on the head in terms of the price. So what we're going to start seeing in Dyer probably, when you have a situation like this where you have days on market are really long, but there's not a big difference between the average listing price currently of $366,000 and the average sales price in January of $353,000. That's like $13,000. When you have a situation like that, you are going to see Dyer sellers are just going to have to start coming down on their prices. I mean, some sellers, they can, wait forever to sell. They're, what's going to happen in the spring or what's going to happen next year or in, 2027 or whatever it is. Awesome. Most sellers that are actually listed their homes are pretty interested in selling, whether they have, extreme motivation or they're just, testing things out. Dyer is going to have to figure out where they are in terms of attractability to buyers. Obviously, Dyer's a great town. There's tons and tons of houses, older houses, new construction, lots of shopping, close to Illinois, like all the things that considered desirable for Dyer may not be making it right now. And again, these are January numbers. We may see a very different situation in March, April, May, throughout the summer. The one thing Dyer has that Munster also has, that Crown Point has, that a lot of places have across the United States is that they don't have the inventory. I mean, think about it. So for all of Dyer, all the new construction that's going in, right on the state line, all our $1 million homes, all just the regular houses, and there's a bunch of duplexes and just, all these neighborhoods, only 45 listings right now. Not only do we just have 10 new construction, that means only 35 people in all of Dyer are interested in selling your house right now. So that is really going to determine whether or not, these 73 days on market for these active listings, are because we're priced too high versus, there's just no inventory. So they don't have to move on their prices. If a buyer wants to buy in Dyer, this is what they have to buy, which is awesome and fine. Dyer's a great town. But the thing to be careful of is that, are they going to start looking in Crown Point? Are they going to start looking in Lowell? Are they going to start looking in Valparaiso? One of the things about Dyer is that while it's a very nice town, there's a lot of other towns just like it very close by. So, the only people can really make those decisions are buyers, and the only people that can really tell sellers whether or not they've listed maybe a little too high is the buyers. So, we'll see in springtime. Thanks for joining me for our Dyer market update. Next week, we are going to be talking about Crown Point. So kind of a similar town in terms of having just tremendous different kinds of housing stock and new stuff and old stuff and a really big footprint. So we'll see what their active listings are doing and how many days on market. If you live in Dyer or, thinking of selling or maybe buying in Dyer, please comment down below. I'd love to hear from you about your thoughts about what exactly the Dyer market is doing, whether or not maybe these sellers are a little too optimistic or maybe these buyers are a little too optimistic, I guess. If you live in Dyer or think of buying in Dyer or really anywhere in Northwest Indiana, please call or text me anytime, 219-765-2062. I'm really low pressure, so if you do call, you don't have to worry that I'm going to start making you, sign paperwork or something like that. If it's easier, you're more comfortable, you can also send me an email at hsbyerica@gmail.com. That stands for Home Sales by Erica, which also happens to be my website, homesalesbyerica.com. You can stop by there. I have a full seller's guide, a full buyer's guide. Links to my videos are there. Certainly you can search for homes or get a valuation there as well. And if you did like this video, I really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and certainly subscribe to my channel. Like I said, we're talking about Crown Point next week, kind of compare those Dyer numbers. And then on Thursdays, I also do buyer and seller videos as well. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and certainly ring that bell if you want notifications when I post new stuff. Thank you again, and I'll see you on Thursday.